Alright, so today's video is actually going to be entirely off script as, I don't know, I just kind of want to wing it today and see what my flow is like with videos like this. As usually, whenever I do top 5s and discussions, I'll kind of jot down some notes or different thoughts so that I won't stray too far from what I want to present, my opinions in a video. But, I don't know, today I just feel like the topic we're going to be talking about isn't really as serious, so I can just easily say what's on my mind without, having to write down notes or anything like that. It's today we are going to be talking about the situation between Sonic and IGN. So, a lot of people have been wondering, what are my thoughts? As a few weeks ago when this whole thing went down, basically a ton of people were tweeting at me like, "Oh my god, Kobe, did you hear what IGN said about Sonic?" And I'm just like, oh, again, okay, what? And everyone's just like, Sonic was never good! Oh, alright, that's cool and all, what else? But that was basically it. And it's just like, one thing that we've kind of noticed about IGN over the past few years is that their reviews with Sonic games and just other games in general have kind of been off at times. I don't know if anyone remembers Sonic Unleashed review to where Hillary Goldstein was basically saying that, Sonic Unleashed was a terrible, terrible game, one of the worst and all that stuff. And, you could just kind of see in his gameplay that he was really, really bad at it too. So, you kind of just look at a review like that and you're like, okay, that's just that person's, opinion, their preference. I'm not going to really pay too much attention to it because if I see that they're already playing the game terribly and just the stuff they're talking about is, constant nitpicking, I can make my own opinion, have my own view, and move on. But no, that's not really how it goes with the Sonic fanbase or the Nintendo fanbase, does it? And I don't want people thinking that, I'm like, oh my god, the Sonic fanbase is crazy and stupid and all that stuff. I'm definitely not saying that right now, but at the same time, I'm not gonna be like, oh my god, IGN said that, yo, let's get our pitchforks, let's put our Sonic hats on, let's press the Illuminati button on our PS3s and Lightspeed Dash right into IGN and make a change.org petition to make them stop saying bad things about Sonic. It's just like, what? See, I can understand when people get tired of media being so negative about, different things, because that's the thing. The media is always going to be negative whenever they see the opportunity to do so. That's why Sonic has been completely crapped on for so long, because he's always had these missteps. And while you may disagree with some of them, you may be like, oh my god, Sonic 06 was the best game ever, Sonic Boom wasn't really that bad of a game and whatnot. There have been missteps with a majority of gamers. And because of that, it's basically a meme. Sonic is bad, Sonic is dead. I've kind of, had my fair share of making jokes about Sonic being dead as well. But that's the thing, people do it because they know how the Sonic fanbase is. They're easily triggered, and you just got a character that is so exploitable to make fun of that why not do it? It's just adding a little bit of drama, it's getting a little bit more traffic to the site, because honestly, I hadn't even been to IGN's website. I hadn't even thought about IGN for about, I'd say maybe 2 years. Like, I don't check their reviews or anything like that because, every once in a while they have some good ones, at least in my opinion. And then other times they have some to where they just don't present their views as well as I would like them to, or they may say some things that aren't real or actually true. I made a video a while back about Sonic Lost World in IGN, and yeah, I definitely got a little bit triggered at the time when I made that video, but it wasn't even because IGN doesn't like Sonic, or the reviewer, we should actually say, doesn't like Sonic. It was more about the fact that they were basically stating that Sonic wasn't that fast in the game, and, I don't know, I just disagreed with it. It wasn't really the fact that, hey, you can't not like this game. This is Sonic Lost World, hoes. Like, you better buy this game, you better give it an 8.5 like Sonic Colors. No, I'm not gonna say that at all. But it was just like, you kind of see the gameplay of all these people, who are reviewing the games, and it's like, they're not presenting the game how it should be. They're not showing that you can actually go fast if you use the spin dash. And that's the reason why I made that video. And I basically said, give me your opinion. What do you think? Do you think IGN is actually right on it? Or do you think IGN is wrong? considering that I actually have some gameplay footage of me knowing the stage, playing through it well. And that's the thing about Sonic games, you know, speed is a reward. Anyway, though, yeah, I did have a little, you know, snarky little remarks to IGN, and it was funny. The reviewer for that game actually blocked me on Twitter because I had an argument with them. But, yeah, that's how I feel. It's like, people shouldn't really care when someone says they don't like something, because just because that person works for IGN or something like that doesn't mean that they're not a human being. Doesn't mean that they can't have their own personal opinion. I know a lot of people who don't like Sonic the Hedgehog, and it's not because it's a bad or anything like that. They just don't like it, and some people think it's bad, but I'm not going to get upset at that one dude on the NeoGAF forums or the GameFAQs forums who's like, oh my god, Sonic Heroes is garbage this game. Like, no. It's just, okay, that's your opinion, whatever, but I have my own opinion. I'm not going to let you affect mine. But if you say something that I believe is actually wrong, then I'm just going to be like, okay, you know, this is how I feel. This is my opinion. I don't agree with that. But yeah, that's how I feel. People shouldn't let opinions or, you know, a person's preference make them upset, because it's not fact. However, if that person is stating that their opinion or preference is fact, then that's where, you know, there's definitely room to debate. And then even then, people are still going to let their opinions judge what they believe is fact and what's false. However, there are some things that can definitely be proven as fact. So let's talk about, I'm going to use this as an example, Sonic 06, alright? So a lot of people say Sonic 06 is a bad game, one of the worst games ever made. A lot of people say Sonic 06 gets hated on a little bit too much, but yeah, it is a pretty bad game. And then there are a lot of people who say Sonic 06 is one of the best, most immersive games ever, and that they would like a sequel or Sonic 06 to be redone on consoles. And you know, this is where I can basically say right now, as a fact, Sonic 06 is a bad game. Now you may be like, wait, why are you just saying that right now? Well, first off, the game is incomplete. It's an incomplete game. That right there is fact. Sega has already admitted that it's an incomplete game. It had development hell, and that's a huge flaw. That flaw carries over to other things that are flawed in the game, like some of the gameplay mechanics, how the game has several glitches, the graphics aren't as good as even the beta. It's incomplete, and all of that makes it end up being a bad game. And it's not about, oh, I don't like the story, or I do like the story, or, you know, I wish it played more like, you know, boost gameplay, or it played like the classics. That's all preference right there. But what I just stated there about the glitches, the gameplay not being as polished as it should be, it being incomplete, those are all facts right there. And, you know, some people are going to be like, oh, well, my copy of Sonic 06 never had any problems, dude. Wow, you're just stating lies right now. Anyone could literally say that about anything. So, like, it's mostly about the majority and what is actually there for most of that majority. Because you could be like, oh, my meal at Chipotle, it didn't have E. coli. So all these other people who had E. coli, that's false. No, you can't do that. It's the same way with this. But you see what I'm saying? Like, there are just some things, like I said, that are fact, and then there are some things that will be said that are not actually fact. It's just personal preference and opinion. And that's how I feel about these guys on GameScoop. It's like, I don't hate IGN over that or whatever. I do feel like in some ways, maybe how they do cover Sonic games and also Nintendo games as well is a little bit weird, because, you know, there's some people who review the games in the Sonic series and they're like, oh my god, this game is amazing, this is fantastic and whatnot. So they, you know, put that review up or whatever. But then other times they'll be saying different things or whatever, you know, just going back and forth. But the thing is that people try to treat IGN as like one entire entity, which it is, yes, but the people who say the different things under IGN, they're all entirely different people. You know, Hillary Goldstein didn't say, oh, you know, the entire Sonic fan base or whatever only likes to, you know, stick their penis in Big the Cat or whatever. You know, he didn't say that. So yeah, that's how I feel. You know, there's some things that are just definitely fact, and then there are other things that are stated that are personal preference and opinion. And what IGN said, you know, it's just obvious it's not fact at all. Like, not every single fan in the Sonic fan base wants to stick their penis in Big the Cat. Not everyone thinks that, you know, Sonic was never good. They're just saying stuff. They're speaking out of their ass, basically. And when you hear someone speaking out of their ass like that, why are you just gonna listen to that and let it get to you so badly. You know, that's what I don't get. Why are you making change.org? And then the other thing about it too is that all these people who say these different things about the Sonic fan base aren't even the same people. So the person who reviewed Sonic Lost World, not the same person who reviewed Sonic Unleashed. Not the same person who reviewed Sonic Colors. Not the same person who reviewed Sonic Adventure 2. I feel the way people look at reviews and reviewers is very, very outdated, because that's the thing. This whole like professional reviews and all that stuff, it's like, yeah, they present it in a more professional way, in a more professional light, and they have experience with multiple different games to where, you know, some people will trust that person's opinion, but that doesn't mean everything they say is fact or whatever. So just look at it like that. It's basically just supposed to give people an idea of what the game's about. It doesn't mean that everything they're saying is fact. Some of it may be wrong. They may state false things, and you know, there's nothing wrong with calling out people when they say something wrong, because you know, hey, some people are open to correction, some aren't, but either way, if it's wrong, you know it's wrong. But even if it is wrong, you shouldn't let it get you so upset to where you want to make a change.org, or, you know, like just be like IGN is the devil and whatnot. It's just, I disagree with that person's opinion, and that's it. That's basically all I can say. You know, I've always said that Sonic Adventure 2 is overrated, but at the same time, it's also overhated right now, because like I said, Sonic is so exploitable with his missteps that it's a meme. You know, Sonic is terrible, and then, you know, people try to be like, well, wait, what if Sonic was actually never good at all? And it's like, people should be smart enough to know they're just baiting. It's literally just bait, and it's very tiring and annoying, definitely. But you're not going to see me dwell on this person's review or Game Grumps video because, oh, they said something that I completely disagree with. No, I'm like, okay, that's what they think, but I don't really like those videos like that anyway, so I'm not gonna watch it. But you don't see me walking around all upset with the, you know, with the freaking stick up my butt, being like, oh my god, you know, today is just terrible. IGN said this about my favorite character in gaming. And I love how people are passionate about Sonic to where they want to defend, you know, what they know and love. That's really, really good. But don't let it get to you, man. That's just what they're asking for, because while they may have not said it, it's been known that the Sonic fanbase gets easily upset about so many things. That's why whenever IGN or anyone else does a review like that, all these channels that like that kind of gaming drama and whatnot, they want to hop on it. Sonic is dead again. Yes! And it's just like more views for them, and then us being stupid and whatnot, like, oh my god, did he really just say that? We click on the video, we're like, go eat one. And then it doesn't matter to them, because they're just like, haha, it's another Sonic fanboy letting my own opinion get them so upset, so butthurt, when I'm just getting money from it. It's kind of like how Trump is, you know? Says things, a lot of it is definitely not fact, but it gets covered in the news. Or, you know, the news always focuses on it because people love drama and they know what attracts people. So they're gonna do that to further advance themselves. That's just how it is. You know, no one's gonna watch the news, like I've always said. No one's gonna watch the news if all the time it's like, you know, something positive, like, oh, you know, like, I don't know. You get what I'm saying though, right? People like drama, they like bombshells, they like all that stuff, and us as humans, we tend to get baited by that. I don't know why, but that's what I'm saying. It's just like, I disagree with IGN about, and the people who were on that GameScoop video talking about Sonic was never good. I believe that's entirely wrong. You know, that's just their own opinion. It's not fact. I'm not going to let it get to me and be like, you know, Jesus Christ, man, F IGN and all that stuff. I may crack a joke every once in a while, but it doesn't really bother me, you know? And I feel like some people also need to learn when to admit something is wrong. Sonic has had a lot of missteps, and you know, some people may be like, well, I liked this game, I thought Sonic 06 was good, or Sonic and the Secret Rings wasn't really that bad of a game if you unlock all the skills and everything, which is what I think. But at the same time, just because I like Sonic and the Secret Rings doesn't mean I'm gonna say it's a good game. You know, you have to look at it and you're just like, okay, well, what are some of the facts about the game? The controls are really bad. You basically unlock better controls over time. That's something that is in the game. You can't argue against that at all. And that's poor game design. You're not supposed to have to unlock better controls or unlock a better game. The game should be fun when you get the game automatically. But that's the thing, like I said, I like Sonic and the Secret Rings when all the skills are unlocked. That's just me. I just like it. That's just my personal preference. So whenever someone says Sonic 06, Sonic Boom, they like those games, that's good for you. I completely disagree. I think they're bad games, but I can't tell you, hey, you can't like this game. Like, what is a change.org petition going to do to these guys? It's not going to, just because they apologize or whatever, because Obama's like, oh yeah, I think you should apologize. Shout Obama. Like, no. They're just gonna be like, okay, sorry, but they're not actually sorry. Like, you want a half-hearted apology? Like, you can't change someone's opinion. So even though I'll be like, Sonic 06 is a bad game, someone else may be like, I like that game. I can't tell them they were wrong. I can't say, you can't like Sonic 06. You can't like Sonic Boom. Every once in a while, I do joke around. I'm not gonna lie, I joke around a lot. I say things that people want to be like, oh my god, Kobe's a hypocrite. Because a few days ago, I was like, you know what? Because all these people defend Sonic Boom and Sonic 06, I'm gonna vote for Trump. These people need to learn. It was just a joke, though. I'm not gonna vote for Trump. And if you like Sonic 06 and you like Sonic Boom, that's okay. But it's another thing too. So a lot of fans right now, you know, are saying that Sonic Generations isn't that great of a game because it had too much boost gameplay. You know, they wanted more platforming or more, you know, Sonic Adventure 2 like gameplay. Okay, that's your personal preference, but what it does have in the game, the boost gameplay, is it bad? No, it's not bad. It's actually pretty damn polished. But you just don't like it, and it's okay to not like that. Now think about it like this as well. IGN, in a way, could actually use our logic against us. So IGN gave really, really high reviews to Sonic Colors, to Sonic 4 Episode 1, and also what's the other game? Sonic Generations. Gave a lot of really high scores to those games. But now, a lot of the fan base wants to complain about those games and point out different nitpicks or their own personal preferences and opinions about the game because, well, I didn't like how the spin dash was, you know, so strong for Classic Sonic, or, you know, Classic Sonic's character model just doesn't look as good as, you know, the new Sonic Mania one. They should get rid of the, you know, Classic Sonic and Generations. That look just looks bad. You know, it's like they could use all that against us and be like, wow, Sonic fans are just crazy, man. Look at that. They could group us all together, you know, and be like, Sonic fan base is just crazy, you know. Sonic fan base just wants to, you know, put their penis in Big the Cat, which they did actually say, by the way. But you see what I'm saying, though. They can use the exact same logic. You know, we always say, you know, a majority of the fan base will be like, oh, Sonic 4 Episode 1 was the most garbage game ever made. IGN liked the game. They could make a petition about us being like, Sonic fans apologize. Sonic 4 Episode 1 was an 8.5 in our review, and you should think so too. Does that make sense, though? It's just like, people tend to take these review sites so seriously and get so upset by it and so alarmed, and people just need to calm down and realize that reviewers from different gaming sites, they're not all the same, and because of that, not all the reviews are going to be the same, and not all the opinions are going to be the same. And if you disagree with that, if you think they stated something false, go for it, you know, debate that, or, you know, just disagree with it, but don't let it get you so upset to where you just feel like, you know, you're defending your mom from like a shooter or something like that. No, it's just an opinion. And I feel like Sonic fanbase and the Nintendo fanbase need to kind of just calm down a little bit and understand that. See what they say. If you feel like something's wrong, then go to another review, try something else out. I didn't like a lot of IGN's reviews. Did I dwell on IGN? No. I just moved on to something else that I preferred more. You know, other review sites, or I'll watch, you know, YouTube reviews because, you know, some Call Me Johnny has good reviews or whatever, you know? It's like, people, I don't know, man. But I can understand if you're younger and you let it get to you, because when I was younger, when people dissed Sonic the Hedgehog, do you know how much of a white knight I was? Like, forget Sonic and the Black Knight, it was Kobe and the White Knight. And that was my super form, ladies and gentlemen. But that's how it was, because, you know, when you're younger and all that stuff, you get more attached to things. And then even if you're older, you are still attached to certain things. But, you know, I'm not saying that if you did let it get you upset like that, you know, that's a terrible thing. I'm basically making this video right now because that's the thing. We're so used to... It's all about your environment, you know? Your environment changes who you are and, you know, how you act, how you think and whatnot, because you're surrounded by this one different opinion or this different view or how things are handled that you kind of just go with the flow, you know? And it's most of the time involuntary. So that's one thing I kind of have to realize myself with different things. You know, why get upset over Sonic? And why am I getting so upset because people are saying this about Sonic? At least that's what I thought back then. And I kind of realized, I'm just like, it's because literally all the time, whenever something bad happens with Sonic, or when someone says something bad about Sonic, people just let it get to them and the fan base. So then it's just like, it's a trend, you know, kind of like the whole trend that, hey, this game is bad and all that stuff after a couple of years when everyone was like, it was a good game. So it really is just about a trend. That's why I'm not gonna be like, oh my god, you know, you're stupid, I'm completely writing you off as a reasonable human being if you got upset at what IGN said or whatever. I mean, you can be upset and whatnot. That's totally fine. I'm basically just making this video to kind of, you know, present a different outlook on this whole situation. I mean, I sound perfectly calm about it. IGN just dissed my favorite video gaming character of all time, the character I've been playing since I was like 3 years old. But yeah, that's just me. And just little old me has an opinion, has different preferences, just like that IGN reviewer over there. You just kind of have to, you know, form your own view. Alright, so I just wanted to add something really quick because I had a feeling this would be something brought up in the comments down below. Alright, so some people may be like, oh my god, haven't you made videos, you know, defending Sonic all the time? Wouldn't you say that's triggered or whatever? Well, you know, like I'm saying, it's not bad to disagree with something or, you know, say your opinions and whatnot. But what I'm saying is, if you're gonna defend something or, you know, argue against something or whatever, then, you know, just realize that you may not come to, you know, a conclusion or whatever that, you know, you can solidly be like, oh, this is fact or whatever. But you can present your opinions and be like, hey, you know, I think Sonic 06 was a good game because of this. It's not like you're saying, oh, all these other opinions are, you know, upsetting me or whatever. It's basically you just presenting your own opinion because all these other people are presenting their opinions as well. So just because I'm making a video on this, it's not, oh, you're letting the fan base get you triggered so much, Kobe, to where you're making this video. And it's like, I'm not really that upset. It's a little bit annoying, but I'm not upset about it. I'm just presenting my opinion because so many people wanted my opinion. Hope that makes sense, so that we won't have so much drama in the comments. But anyway, yo, I'm gonna let it continue on with the rest of the commentary. So yeah, that's basically what I have to say. You know, like I said, I'm not really dissing too much. In a way, it's just kind of jokes and all that stuff. Dang, I keep bumping my mic on accident with all my hand movements. My bad if the audio kind of sounds weird at some points. But that's just that's my personal view on different things like this. And a lot of people, some people think I'm a Nintendo hater. Some people think that, you know, I just am terrible or that I hate Nintendo. And then whenever I say something bad about Nintendo, they'll want to retort with, oh, Sonic was always bad. And it's like, okay, cool story, bro. Like, Do you really think I'm gonna get that offended over that? I'm just stating my opinion, and then because I stated my opinion, it triggered you so much. It's not even fact, but it triggered you so much to where you're like, well, since he dissed something that I love and respect, let me diss something he loves and respects, and maybe it'll get him, that'll show him. No. You know, it's just, this is this internet pettiness that's been going on for way too long, and I just feel like some people need to kind of grow up and open their minds. Open your heart. Okay, I'll stop. Anyway, yeah, if you did enjoy this little discussion video, my thoughts and whatnot, I know I did talk for quite a while. You know, make sure, leave a like and all that stuff. It really helps out tremendously. I don't know, I'm just going to slap some gameplay in the background because, like I said, honestly, I don't really want to put so much into this, you know. It's just, I'm just stating what a lot of people have been wondering. So, yeah. Anyway, leave a like. All that shenanigans. Drop your opinions, you know, your opinions, your preferences, and them facts down below if you would like to. And we'd love to hear what you all have to say. But anyway, thanks again for watching. See you all. Have a good day. Peace, Republic of Kobanamites. And take care.